Today, guys, how you doing today? Today we continue our lecture series from where we stopped. Today we look at control structures in Python. We look at the conditional statement, the if statement, the else statement, the else statement, and the my statement. We look at also the control loop statement, the for loop statement, the while loop, and also look at the loop controls, the break statement, the continue statement, and the pass statement, and also the ternary operations in Python. We dive into the slide. We look at what are control structures in Python. Control structures are the building blocks of programming logic. They allow the developer to dictate to control the execution or the flow of the code. So the control structure are very important in Python for managing the flow and the execution and making decisions or repeating some tasks in Python. So now we have for example, now let's start with the if statement. The if statement evaluates the condition if the condition is true through our relational operator. Also combine it through our relational operators. So then if the statement is true, we use this, or else we use the other statement. Then if the condition 1 is true, then this is the structure of the code. We have the if statement here, the if statement here. If the code below it, remember, it contains 4 spaces, like space 1, space 2, space 2, 4 space, or just press the key tab, the tab key on your system. Just press it, it will give you a 4 space. So that is the block, that is the scope. So everything that belongs under this if statement right from here, it should be executed. Just like this as well, you can see our if statement here. If s is equal to 7, then if s is greater than 5, then from this statement, everything under this statement will execute for this block. So let's move forward. That's for if statement. That in case in some condition, in some areas, you may have more than one check. You want to carry out some check, more than one check on the system. So on your code, in your code, you may have, okay, if this is this, then do this. S again, maybe S if check, make a second check again. In case the first condition does not meet, so make a second check again. Then you carry on again. If it does not meet again, take the sort of check again until if there is nothing else to meet, then we click on the last check, which is the else statement. That bring me to the else statement. So the else statement provides a fallback for when none of the preceding if or else if conditions are true. So that is, execute the code here if none of the previous conditions were true. So now I'm going to demonstrate all this code for us soon. So now let's look at the loop control. The loop are used to iterate over a block of code multiple times. We have some items. We want to iterate over some of those items one after the other and carry out operations on those items. Now, the for loops enable us to iterate since we know the beginning and we know the end of those items. We can use the for loop statement. In case we don't know the end, we can even use the while loop statement. But since we know the end of an item, we can easily use the for loop statement. Loop from this to the end of this, then we're able to get it. Then here is a sample of the code here. We also have the for loop is here. The for items, for item in sequence, it can be sequence of numbers, it can be sequence of strings, of names, can be a sequence of anything. So the item will represent the first item in the list of those items. So we're going to talk about lists in the future videos, but let's just borrow it here for example. We have example, we have just assume this is a basket. The list is a container that contains multiple items. So we have apple, we have banana, we have cherry, we have mango, we have carrots. So let's just assume this is a basket that contains multiple fruits. Now, numbers of items of fruits inside it. We have fruits. So here is the first fruit. Okay, loop over the fruit one after the other. Then we can print them one after the other. This will print them on a new line, on a separate line. Now let's move to the while loop statement. The while loop executes as long as the condition is true. That is, it repeats a block of code as long as the condition matches. Now, this code here executes when the condition here matches. That, for example, let's see here, you can see count equal to 0. Why count is less than 5? That means execute this code until y count. But if our count is now greater than 5, that means the code will not execute, it will terminate. So it continues to execute until the condition reaches. Now let's try to use our break statement. Let's control. Sometimes we get to a point when it started, we have get to the maximum operation that we want to operate. Anytime we get to this point, please terminate the program. We can use our break statement to what? To quit the program or to terminate the execution of the loop. For example, we want to move from in the range of 10. The I means I start from 0 to 9, the number of items there. So now, if I equal to 5, then it should break. That means you don't want to continue the execution of the program anymore. The program will stop and there will be execution of the code anymore. And it will print out what? It will now print out the value of I. If only the value, if only I equal to 5. That means let's move to the other one, continue statement. The continue statement will just jump. We just jump the conditions. We just jump it. So the continue statement skip the rest of the code inside the loop for the current iterations only. And the loop proceeds with the next iterations. I'm going to show us an example of this. I'm going to run it. We're going to see what this thing means in the future. So now the past means, that means it's null operation, nothing happen here. So sometimes you may not be allowed to just declare a for loop here without anything follow it. You have to put something here, but it just allows you to just, okay, past just enable us with just leave the code for a while and continue the next operations. Then let's move to I'm rushing because of our time, so I want to demonstrate some things for us. Then let's see our conditional next statement. The nested loop statement. Sometimes we may want to embed loop inside loop. What does that mean? For every single instance of this code starts from I, it's starting from I, and what is ending in 5, just 1 to 5, because 6 is only a part of it. That means now for every single instance of this, run 1 to 5 of this. This is the inner loop. This is the outer loop. That means for if this one is 1 for the first time, it will run this code and make a check from 1 to 5 for every single instance of this. When you get to 2 again, when this one is now 2, if this one again, this code will also run from 1 to 5. Then it will check the product. It will calculate the product. I times j. The product of this, calculate the multiplication of this. Then we have, if the product, we find the modulus of the product equal to 0, then continue to check. And see, this is nested. We have a nested loop control. Then we can also, inside the loop, we can also have what? Our condition. We can also, vice versa, we can also firstly have our condition first, then if the condition is met, depending on the kind of problem we want to solve. Then depend on how we're going to use this control. We're going to see them in the examples. And also see another example is this. We have an array where this is called multiple array. For example, I'm going to explain to us. By the time we get to list, multiple list, nested array. In other programming language, we call them array, but in Python they are called list. And this is mutable list. This is mutable list. That means you can still edit and change the value inside. Unlike tuple, you cannot change it. But mine, so let's just continue. The first thing, it loop through the first row. We have the first in, this is the opening braces here. This is the close braces here. This is index 0. This is index 1. This is index 2. Each index is a list. Index 0 contains another list of 102. Index 1 contains another list of 010. Index 2 contain another list of 210. Let me repeat again. This is a nested list of items. This is the first open braces and the what? This shows a game board, for example. This is the closing braces. Inside the list again, we have three lists separated by comma. We have one list here, unlike what we have here, that we have only one item in our in our foods. We want to show, sorry, okay, like this one. We have one item, another item, another item. Now let's go back here to this. We have we have one item here, but this one item contains a list of items again. So what you can look throughout, but to form a matrix, for us. Then there are two information parts here. We enumerate here enables us to get the key and the value. If we turn this into dictionary, I'm going to explain this deeper in the future video. And we are going to get the key, the index, and the value. This enables us to get the index and the value of each. Then we now look again. We have the column index, and there in index, can you see we get the row here? The row here, this row contains the first item here. The first item contains all the items here. We also still get the index, the key, and the value. I'm going to explain to us the next when we get to the key value. But let's still continue the video lectures. Then we come to match statement. This match statement begin. If you check your Python, you open your Python command prompt or terminal. If you put Python there, and your Python version is showing you Python 3.6, 3.7, 3.8. If you are on Linux machine, you can put Python 3 hyphen version. So it's going to show you if you are using the Python version that you are using. If your Python version is less than 3.9 or 3.10, sorry, you won't be able to use what we call this match statement. The match statement here is very good. We also have match statement in Rust. If you are used to Rust programming, we also have match statement there. So it's alternative to switch statement in Java, in our C++ program. It's alternative to using a switch statement. But the one thing limitations there is that it can only run inside inside a functions. That is declare functions. Our next topic is functions. Going through functions. Yeah, and then next topic of lectures. We are going to go through very soon in one of the lectures tutorials. So here we have case. We're going to see them in a sample, uncommon example. So be bug with many codes. But let me just explain it. The match statement here, match whatever the user pass, the developer pass into the fold. This is a function. This is a keyword to show that this is a function. This is the name given to that function. You have to give the function a name. So this is the parameter that you pass into the functions that can be that make it dynamic. Now, if the user pass in fruits, okay, you now take match what the user pass in to what is below. What the user pass in. If the user pass fruit, if this is apple, what the user passing the fruit is apple, then return the color as red. Then if the user pass if the fruit that the user pass in is a banana, then return the color as yellow. But if the user pass in what we call grape as the fruit, then return the color, get fruit color. And this is the name of it. You have to pass in a meaningful name to your function so that you won't be confused. Then if the user does not pass anything, maybe what the user pass in, the user just pass in maybe the user just pass in mango, and we don't have the color of mango here, and the color of mangoes is green. Then it's going to pass what is going to return unknown. In other programming language like Java or C++, it's going to tell you what maybe default. That means unknown. Now let's move into another example of match statement. It said note something. Not to use match statement, it must be defined inside a function. Yes, I told you earlier. You can also use it inside with a class. So you can use it with many class that is not even used in other. The switch statement is not even used in other for programming language with classes and other things. So these are the example of these statements. Let me try and look at now. We still move to our last one here. This is called this to our ternary operations. Ternary operation in Python is concise way to assign a value to a variable. We get a value here. The value of this, the value here is determined based on the condition here. If the value, what the condition here, maybe you assign a variable, the condition here is true, then return this. If this what is here is true, then return the value here. Else, if it's not true, then return what is here. That's what it means. There's going to be a condition here. If this condition here, you can also embed it inside a loop statement that we're going to also see below. See, can you see if the value that is passed here, the condition here, so if 5 is greater than, if 5 is greater than, if age, for example, age, if the condition is if age is greater than 18, that means you can vote and be here. Else, you cannot underage. You should return underage. For example, let's see what is here. This is called list composition in Python. I'm going to also address that in our then get to list. I'll get to our list, whether mutable list or immutable list. So check that. Then we have a list here, as I was saying before. Let me just explain it one after the other. This is the open bracket, this is the close bracket, this is the open bracket here. Then, if the user is but remember one thing, that a Python code is what it first check what is it goes like this all the way. It starts from the right hand and execute to the left. Then it first check what is inside there. We first loop it for number in numbers. Yes, for numbers in number. Then take this number. If this number, the modulus of 2 equal to 0, that means we got number multiplied by 2, which return number multiplied by 2. If it is not modulus of 2, we just return our what? We return the number. Understand? This number in numbers, these are numbers, this is the number declared here. So, if this number, if we find the modulus of it, this is nested, this is a list composition, advanced list in Python. So if the model of this is this, then we can then apply this, or else we not. Let's move down. For example, okay, now this is it here. This is the breaking down. If you don't want to break it down, if you don't want to have it in a single line like this, you can also break it down here. We declare a list of numbers. We create an empty list here. This here is used to create an empty list, or you type or just write a list and open like a method. So I'm going to show you as well, and you get this. We're not in the list method now. So then we're going to use number inside numbers. Then result here, append this number, this, if or else. If number equal to what? 2 or else. So this is a loop. Everything here will execute before it go out of this loop once it started. Now, so now let's jump into our code. Let's demonstrate some example in our code. Now, I'm opening my Visual Studio Code. Now, let's create a file. Let's call it in, let me open it. Create a file. Let's name it as app.py. And let me create it here. For example, we talk about our first, and we talk about the if statement, the if statement, the else statement, and the other statements, or the match statement. If let's create a variable age is equal to 23. Age 1, let's age 1 equals to 23. Age 2 equals to what? 15. If age 1 is greater than 18, then print you can vote. You can see, let me run it now. Python app.py, and see you can vote. But if I change to age 2 greater than or equal to, just for example, just greater than age 2, but it's going to print empty because nothing else was given. Now let's put s there. S print you cannot vote. To be underage, just put underage. Now let's run it again. I also run it here. And you see underage. It's showing you that what is the user is underage. Now let's try again that if the user, maybe our next can also check next statement. Maybe as a card, maybe as voting card, as voting card is to be true. For example, it is true. Or for example, let's just check elif before we go into that. Our elif statement is elif if the user age, and if the user age, and just pass me just to keep the code. If the user age, and just here, I'm just on the age is equal to 13. If the user is maybe 3, if the age is 3, and if the age is 3, if age equals 3, maybe below 10 is less than 10, is less than, maybe for example 6, you can say, okay, you are a baby. You are still a baby. You cannot vote, please. Then, for example, this now, if you run it now, and your age is this, and you see you are still a baby, you cannot vote, please. And you can see there's something here. You can also have multiple X, elif. And again, if age maybe is less than, maybe age is less than 18, and you can combine it again, and age is greater than maybe age is greater than 10. So you can just say you are still a teenager. For example, of the stamp to spell it correctly, and if we run it now, and we change our age to 13, you see a teenager. Can you see? You check it, but if I change to 18, you see underage. Was something? You say if you are underage, okay, 18. This is greater or equal to 18. Let's change your equal to 18. You see, you can vote. You see, that's an example of it. Now, let's move to, you can also nest it. Maybe, for example, if it's greater or equal to 18, if the user has voting card, For example, if the user has voting card true, then go ahead to vote. Go ahead to vote. So cast your vote. Then S, please go and get your card. Thank you. Can you see? Now let's run it now. Now let's run it. Let's run this here. I also clear the output here. Let me also run it. Can you see? Go ahead to cast your vote. But if I change this one to false, this is a nested if statement. See? Please go ahead and please. You're saying to false. You can vote, but it's false. Go and get your card. Can you see? Please go and get your card. That's the operation of a nested statement. So let me comment this out. Now we can also see, check our loop statements. If, for example, for I, it started from this I in range of 10. Let's firstly print it out. What is in range of 10? Understand? If we put ordinary 10, I'm going to have an error. You can't just put 10 here. Just a print I. You can't see that. It has to be in a range or something. The range is a function that enables us to iterate over from beginning of that item, the specified item. So if we print it this way now, we're going to see we have an error. It said each object is not iteratable. We cannot iterate over only integer. That is why we need to what? Range of 10. So we clear it this way. And see, it's showing out 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, some to 10. But if you also want to make it to be on horizontal line, I just come here and just leave it that way. Just run it. What do you see? We see 0, 1, 2. But you also want to put it comma. I just okay, tab. Give it a tab for me. Make end. Slash still means a tab. Give it a tab. Slash just give it a tab for me. Can you see? We have it here. 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3. But what if you also want it to start from 1 to 10 in the range of just normal number to the user? That means I just start here, come here, 1, 2. Can you see my ending index will be 10. Start from 1 to 10, but it will not stop in 10. But you have to put 11 here to make sure it stop at 10. Then we can also run it. You see, from 1 to 10. But what if you also wanted to jump in step of 2? There's still some attribute parameter you can also pass in, some argument we can pass in here in step of 2. No matter which step, you're going to jump in step of 2. That means we have it here. And you see 1, 3, 5 in step of 2. Okay, jump in step of 4. You still jump the same thing. 1, 5, 9. Can you see? So that is also what we can do with our code. You can also have our next statement. You can also have it, also have our while statement as well. Maybe can't is equal to what? If we can't is equal to 0. Why can't is less than 5. Then I see when you see it, then we print our I. Maybe give it an end of this at t. Then if can't is there, then if why can't is this, then let's increment it. Can't equals can't plus 1. Or you can also say it this way. Can't plus equal to what? 1. What does this mean? Get the initial value of can't here. and how do you want to read? Over as in iterate over. Because it means the same thing this way. So get the initial values of count, how do you want to read, store it in the count, override the value. Understand? That's what it means. Then we can also run it this way. We can run it this way. We get what 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. You get it? So then now we can also have our nested. We can also have a nested loop statement. I think I'm already out of time. Before I'm going to do this nested loop statement. Then after this, we're going to have a question later in the next video, and that solve a concrete problems that demonstrate the combination of the two together. So, but let me firstly do a nested for loop together for us. So I'm going to see. Let's print out a multiplication table for I. Our multiplication table stands from 1 to 12, and also horizontally 1 to 12, vertically 1 to 12. For example, we have I in the range of, that is starting from 1 to stop at 13, then maybe it's going to stop at 12. Then if we do this, print out this now, then we put out I. That means let's see the value I'm going to get. We get 1 to 12. Beautiful. Yeah. So then now let's check another value. Let's another value for J in, let's name this one as row. This is my row now. Row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4. Maybe if this is column or row. Let's just row column. So the column and in the range of 1 to 13. So or we can make it this a first column here, second column here. You can also say that maybe column and this is row. Start. Then we now print the value here. We now say, okay, when the value for her, the value of I column J this, we're going to print the value for horse one after the other. Let's print, okay, now let's print column multiply by row. Let's see the value here. So let's see the value here. And you see, we see the value here, but you cannot see what multiplies. You cannot see what multiplies one another, right? We want to multiply by this. We're not seeing in a good form, but let's format it in such a way that we're going to see what is multiplying. You can use F, you can use the format way of method. By the time we get to string formatting, I'm going to be showing us the better way of doing that. But let's use one of the easier one. Let's just put F here, then you'll be able to allow us to put something inside. Then we now have what let's place our variable here, column multiply by, I will explain it, don't worry, row equals to this, then our what, that is column multiply by row. So that, what does it mean? I'm putting this variable, in our string, I cannot just put something. If I come here, print, without putting that F, and I put something here, it will just print the value for me in letters without putting any value here. And you see, it's not good, the color changes. I won't be able to do that here now, but because of this F I put here, I will be able to what? There's what called a placeholder here for me, a placeholder here for me. I will show us different form. Then we'll get to the string manipulations, other thing here. Then let's give this space here. After it print from 1 to 12, that means let's give it a space here. Let's put print. Just come here. Just maybe tab, for example. Let's create some tabs or some spaces, and let's print this. Let's see what we're going to get. Can you see? 1 dash 1, 2, what? Can you see? We are seeing different, you can see the multiplication tables. You can see the result here. Can you see? You can see we're able to see the result. 2 times 1, 3 times this, 4 times this, 5 times this. And you see, we're able to see the multiplication tables in just a 3-line code. Just 3 lines of code. and just then bring it down backward. See, see, this is just our simple line of code. Thank you very much. I hope this is a long, it will be a long video. So I will see you in the next tutorial. God bless you. Please share, like, and subscribe.